Hello YouTube, this is the Bucket coming back from the range, doing my range review on the good, the bad, and the ugly. We just got back from the Goat Whisperer's range after a long morning of driver's education in the Kansas. It is 112 degrees outside, so needless to say, it was a hot day at the range. But I'm excited to give you the information of what I gleaned from taking these guns to the gun range. We will start off with the ugly. The High Point C9. And again, the purpose of this series of videos is to really talk about what you get and those bargain prices. So this gun I picked up for $150, and it is generally considered the least expensive firearm on the market in a conceal and carry type size, type roll. When I took it to the range today, it shot flawlessly. I had an ask from one of my subscribers to go ahead and try out that ghost ring sight. It was very easy to install. It was time consuming, but it was easy to install. All you do is loosen up this screw here. It will come up. This is windage and elevation adjustable. You just adjust that screw. You screw it counterclockwise all the way out and put this new one in that it came with. Took a little fiddling, but really wasn't difficult at all. I feel like this sight worked just fine. I was hitting pretty well with it. I did take the VP9SK out as a control because it is hot, and after a stressful day in driver's education, sometimes you're the cat and sometimes you're the litter box when it comes to shooting. And with the VP9SK at 12 yards, I hit the steel 8. Because this has a 7-round magazine. I shot this gun 5 out of 7, 6 out of 7, and 6 out of 7.
High Point C9, the ugly.
View, and it helped me realize that this is windage and elevation adjustable. So that's another perk that you get with the C9. I would say that as a blowback, that's a lot of mass that you're absorbing, so it's probably not the lightest shooting gun, but the textured grips, the contoured grips fit my hand perfectly. Me and the UGD both would say that they made this gun amazingly slick. So in a 100-degree weather day, this texturing back here and this texturing right up here doesn't add a ton of grip for you. So it's comfortable to shoot. The slide serrations leave something to be desired, but there's so much mass up here. If you're coming over the top, there's enough to hold on to that you're going to be able to manipulate that slide without too much trouble. Again, no failures to feed, no failures to eject, no stovepiping. This gun just ran. And actually, as a goof, I went back to 25 yards and I was ringing the steel with this gun as well. That fixed barrel does improve accuracy, and this gun shot great. The gun that we have called, or I've given the moniker the bad, because of its reputation of being a Taurus, ran flawlessly. Every single shot shot well. Mags dropped free, locked open on the last round. Sight picture was great. The trigger was good. It is a different trigger than what you would expect from a VP. Not bad, but probably more of my inaccuracies was just getting used to this trigger. And the 12-round capacity was nice. 12 opposed to that 7 was very gooder, so I enjoyed that a great deal.
Taurus G2c, the bad.
I just don't have enough good things to say about this particular firearm. Again, kind of wish that there wasn't a safety on it, but if you practice, you'll be fine. It's not going to be an issue at all. So for $250, definitely good gun. Now we get to the good. So if you watched my first impressions video, I had a lot of things that I was not wild about in this particular firearm. And there was a couple things that I said that were inaccurate, and we'll get to those here in a minute. I was not wild about the trigger, but I was hoping that when I got it to the range that it would just run like a top, and it did not. So when we started off, I started loading up my magazines, and I realized I told you guys something that was not 100% accurate. I said these were 3 8-round magazines. That is not correct. These 2 smaller magazines are 7 rounds, and the one with the bigger extension is an 8-round. So when I started loading this up, and I'm going to load this up with different snap caps, different dummy rounds that I have, because I always seem to lose dummy rounds. I don't know what it is. I'm going to go ahead and get my 7 rounds in her. And doing this on camera's a hoot any for sure. They do not want to go in. We are going to have to cheat here a little bit and go ahead and get out my Uplula. You say they don't work on single stacks. That is not true. They do pretty well on the single stacks. Okay, let's get this in here. Okay, so we got the 7 rounds in there. So when you hear people in the gun community talk about, they'll say it's 12 plus 1, which means you could put 12 rounds in this Taurus and then put a round in the chamber and then put 12 rounds. So you have 12 plus the 1 in the chamber. This Apex or APX Carry, when I went to put it in, it will not accept a 7-round mag. Now, what you can do is lock the slide back, put it in, and then drop the slide. So you can get a total of 7, but you can't get 7 plus 1, which was misleading, not ideal to say the least. Kind of a bummer that Beretta did it that way. When I first racked the slide, it did not go into battery. I had to whack on the back of it, kind of like you saw me have to do in the last video. It did this time. When I shot it, it always went back into battery. And when the UGD ran his slide with the same situation with the 7 rounds, it did drop. So it's not that it will fail while running, but it is not designed particularly well, even after running, 50 rounds through it. So those are just kind of downsides with the gun. When it came to firing, I said I was not wild about the kind of spongy, almost double action trigger nature of this gun. I was really, really hoping that I would shoot it really, really well. I ran 3 7-round mags through this gun, and I hit the steel 2 out of 7 times. The UGD, who is a Beretta fanboy, told me that I was shooting it bad because I had a bad attitude about it when it came in. And you know what? That does happen. If you don't think the gun's going to run, you're probably not going to shoot it great. So he went ahead and took this gun and he ran a couple mags through it, and he had the same problems. 2 out of 7. It just didn't run particularly well. I was really hoping that this gun would run better. I have run Glock 43s. I have run M&P Shields. I have run P365s. I will tell you that I am less accurate with all 3 of those guns, but not to this level. So you really have some downsides here. The mag capacity, this High Point has a bigger mag capacity. I only loaded it up to 7 rounds, and it still has more mag capacity than this gun does, because you could actually run 7 plus 1. This is a 7 only gun. The takedown procedures not good. It is not intuitive or easy to reassemble the gun. These super micro carry guns that are just so thin, they don't fit my hand right. I don't get a good purchase. I don't shoot them as well. And I have a bunch of people that would tend to agree with me. So, conclusions. What are we going to come from this? First, if you can only afford a $150 gun, this gun will get the job done. I would say to you, it is going to be harder to train with this gun, and there are missing some features. That being said, it is a reliable, accurate firearm. If somebody said to me, I'm buying this firearm because I want to protect myself, I'd say, you've got a gun that'll get that job done. Taurus G2c. There is just nothing negative to say about this gun. I can nitpick you. I could say that the treatment on the slide is not the highest quality. The treatment of the barrel is not the highest quality. I could say to you, and this was a real thing, the mags come real tight and are hard to load. So an up-lula would be a good thing to think about getting that will help you load those mags. 12 isn't a huge number of rounds. So, we can nitpick you all day long, but if you have $250 and you're going to go buy a new gun, this is a great gun to buy. There is nothing wrong with buying this firearm, and I think you're going to do well. I would just say make sure that you're keeping an eye on the slide, you're oiling it just to make sure that the treatment lasts long enough. Definitely would purchase this firearm. And if you are in a situation where you have $150 today but might have $250 next month, and you can wait a month and you're not in danger right now, if you can wait, definitely move up to that. As far as $350 for the Apex or APX, I would actively tell people that don't get this gun. Now, I may have gotten the guy that made my gun, his wife may have left him the night before. I may just have the one lemon in the group, but I can only speak to you about what I have experienced. I know it is aesthetically more pleasing than the C9. I know that there are some features that sound nice in this gun, but with a spongy trigger, with me not being accurate with it, with the lack of mag capacity, with the lack of interchangeability of the modular system, I just don't see why anybody would spend $350 on this gun. If you had $350 and you said, what should I get? I'd say buy this and a holster and a lot of ammo. If I'll be completely honest with you. If you said you need to protect your family, and you have two options, the APX Carry or the C9 High Point, I would pick the C9 High Point. I would feel more comfortable with this firearm than this one. Now, that being said, I am not bashing Beretta. I don't think they did well on this gun. Me and the UGD were talking. We kind of both believe that they just rushed this into production because a lot of gun manufacturers are selling these micro carries and did their name a disjustice on this particular firearm. Because I've shot the APX Beretta full size and the compact and the Centurion, and those guns are all good $350 guns. You're not hurting yourself. This is not one of those. So buyer beware. Again, if you have one of these and it runs and it's great, I think that's awesome, and I'm glad you got a good one. I'm just telling you what I got out of my brand new box, and buyer beware. If you like anything you saw, go ahead and hit that like button. If you have any questions, if you have any comments that you would like to know about this or any of my other guns, go ahead and put those comments down below. I did just get back from the Nap Weaponry, and I've got the next gun for my new series. It's a Ruger LCP. We're going to find out whether 380 really is a better option if you don't like recoil. So go ahead and look forward to that particular thing, and stay classy, YouTube.
I learned a lesson. Never half-ass two things. Whole-ass one thing.